This makes me $400 a day, and the markets in my area are usually a day or two, give or take, and they're usually every Saturday. Now, for me, being a homeschool mom, recently I started to also put my headbands in consignment stores just so that I can sell constantly without having to actually be there. But yeah, so I got into this because I was making headbands for myself, and I sell other things too at market. But honestly, this is how I make money, help me make money as a stay-at-home mom. And it's actually fun. I enjoy it. It's flexible. I like being creative and it's simple. Like I said, $400 and the markets are 1 to 2 days. Like I just was like, oh my God, I cannot beat that. And this actually came about, like I said, I started sewing a few years ago. Well, anyways, I've been sewing since I was like, I don't know, 16 or 17. But anyways, I picked it back up like mid-pandemic and just for myself, and then people were interested, so I started making them for others and kind of just selling them here and there, as people would ask me. And then somehow I got into going to markets and I just never stopped. And let me tell you about this one time whenever because I went to school to be a registered nurse. So this is like total opposite, right? But anyways, I had been scheduled, or no, I wasn't scheduled actually. Um, it was a Saturday. I had already scheduled a market and like inventory, all the good stuff, paid my fee for the market and whatnot. But that morning I had been, or like that afternoon, whatever the case may be, there was a shift that had become available, like, and they were going to pay you extra to come in, like kind of like on call situation or like critical, whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm all about saving and like getting my money and all that kind of stuff. So it was hard for me to choose between a market I'd already scheduled, and this was still new, like markets were still kind of new for me, and then like sure money, and like it's obvious I didn't totally whatever. So here's what I ended up doing ultimately. I was like, you know what? Work is work. Like I'll be able to pick up another shift, but this is scheduled. My market's scheduled. I'm just gonna bet on myself. And guys, oh my God, I did. I made more money. Here's the thing, because I was like, okay, maybe who knows how much money I'll make like consistently at the market. I made more money doing my market in less time than I would have made doing my nursing shift, and that's what kept me doing the markets. Like I said, I've had to become more creative when it comes to selling just because of my schedule. But if I could do a market every single Saturday, the money is absolutely there. And I mean, I do it for more than the money. That's why I turned down the nursing shift. Though I went to school to become a registered nurse, and I was really successful at that. I just think of myself like an or not an indoor plant, God, no. I think of myself sometimes like a plant. You have house plants and you have outdoor plants, full shade, part shade, full sun. And like a lot of times I'm a full sun kind of plant. And so being inside all the time just didn't serve me well. Also, I'm a pretty even keel person and I like to be positive, happy, help people, get it done, even if the work's hard, getting it done and being a team and whatever, whatever. And the more times than not, I did not find that. So I just, anyways, like I said, I just picked sewing back up. I used to sew in my youth for like my first job. She had like lots of inventory and like name brand stuff and shoes and all the things, but we would do some custom alterations and additions to things. And so that was my introduction to sewing. I already had like a creative bug because I remember in elementary school, I don't know if it was like third, fourth, or fifth grade, but I had a teacher who I guess like recognized that I really liked art, and she ended up at the end of the school year, which, they don't have to do anything special. But, anyways, she ended up buying me a ton of like pastel, what was it? Oil paints. And that's when, like, for me, I mean, my gosh, this was a while ago. So maybe there's pastel paints and oil colors everywhere, but that's some hard stuff to work with. And I just really enjoy like making the sceneries. But whatever, I'm getting off here. What I'm telling you is sometimes whenever you're thinking about how to make money, like you've lived a life, there are things that you've been introduced to or exposed to that you feel a passion about. And that's what I've noticed at markets. There are people there selling a wide variety of things and they sell. They literally sell. I mean, there's people printing 3D toys, there's people selling plants, there's people making dolls. There's people, I mean, like me, who I'm totally crafty, totally girly. I don't just make headbands. I sew lots of different things. I sew for like pet bandanas, I make bows, I have my headbands. I mean, you name it. I'm just like a crafty, girly person. And so I really enjoy making those things and selling them. But what I've been able to find out is there's people make knives and I mean, food and the crafty ways, and it's endless and it's super super inspiring. And so, if you're looking for something, even if I wasn't a mom or homeschooling or whatever, like all the craziness that I've got going on right now that I love, I would still find a way to get into markets and selling my own products because it's literally freed me so much. It's given me a sense of, I don't know, sense of purpose, a sense of self. And like I said, I went to school to become a registered nurse, and even if the stars didn't align and, I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I would still work as a nurse and do what I'm doing, make my headbands and make the different products that I make and go to markets and meet people and sell. Yes, the money is there. And like I said, the market, and I don't know where you live, like especially in bigger cities, there might be like markets on different days of the week, but I'm in a smaller town, so most of the markets on Saturdays, and I mean, I do pretty well. I cannot complain. It's just that with homeschooling my kids, it's just not always feasible to go to market every single Saturday because not only homeschooling is not that big of an issue because we can still get our stuff done and there's still time for me to sew. And I actually enjoy it because I can teach my kids some things and they go with me sometimes and just kind of getting out and getting exposed, getting experience, entrepreneurship, all that craziness. Um, but what was I saying? Oh, yeah, they also are in, like, sports and stuff, and a lot of our games are on Saturdays, so I've started this year or, like, I think in the wintertime, I did, not a market, but, like, a pop-up in the store, and I actually really liked it. She had a lot of things in there, and there was lots of traffic, so I ended up, getting a little bit of space in the consignment store. I need to go back and, like, revamp. This is my very first time doing it, and so I'm interested in seeing how it, turns out and it goes. It's kind of like a low fee to even get in the store. But yeah, these headbands, I really enjoy making them. I have a lot of fun and I love the feeling that I get from making something because I like to be crafty and coming up with new things. I don't really follow that many patterns and someone loving it, liking it, or wanting to gift it to someone. And I think that's really important. No matter what you sell, you absolutely can sell. Just let it be something that you're passionate about, that you love, that you would almost do for free. Because, like I said, before I started going to markets, I just made these for myself. I like to make them to coordinate with my outfits or any randomness, and then people just started asking like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" or "Do you make those?" or "Will you make me one?" or "My sister wants one," or whatever. But if you'd like to know more, just send me a message or a comment.